This is First Step.
Hey, everyone, how's it going? My name is Kevin. Welcome to the First Step Podcast. Welcome on this beautiful 21st of November. We're just finishing up fall football. Week 12, college football in the books. I got a full slate of co-hosts with you guys today. I got my man, Charlie Pigskin, Stupid Stu, and the one, the only, the man who just came back from New York in his Ewok lookalike contest, came in with the tournament champion, Javi.
What's up, guys? Good
Javi, how was it, man? How was New York, dude?
It's great. I'm sick as shit, though.
Oh, I know, bro. Those Ewoks will get it to you.
Yeah.
Lots of cuddling. You guys like to cuddle a lot.
I'm allergic. It's all the fur.
So, listen, week 12. What a ride.
Why
Lots
do
of
you
great
have
games.
pedal glasses on? Sorry to interrupt.
That's an uncomfortable. I don't know how to answer that. I have them on because I need to see. I think they're fancy, cool glasses, not pedophile glasses. I wouldn't
They
wear
are
pedophile.
cool glasses, but you look like a pedophile.
Is it because I'm heavy set and I'm wearing the glasses?
You said it, not me.
So you're saying fat people that wear glasses are pedos?
I'm not saying that. You're saying that.
Listen, this podcast has gone off the rails. We haven't even started talking football yet. We have one guy talking about how Carson Beck's wearing blackface last week, and now we're having you here calling me. Oh, now you're saying now you're saying it wasn't you. Now you're saying it wasn't you.
See, he didn't wear blackface last week, and what happened?
Yeah, they take the L's, baby. So week 12, Stupid Stu, give me a quick rundown. How'd you feel about last week?
7-4 on the Instagram picks, 8-4 in the prior week. I'm now 56-40 on the season, 57% win rate, nearing my 100th pick. And gambling's not about the money, guys. It's the thrill of the risk. Here we are.
Here we are, baby.
It's about the money.
It's about the money. It's about the money and the risk.
About the money, dude.
It's about the chase, baby. It's about the chase. But Stu, game-wise, you saw anything you liked, anything super important that you feel was out of the norm?
Last week?
Florida won.
Yeah. Out of the norm was probably the Oregon performance against Wisconsin. Wisconsin gave Oregon a little bit of a scare, but Oregon showed they can find a way to win a game without having to score 35 points and when their offense wasn't there to answer the call, their defense stepped up. So that was the most exciting.
Playing some Big Ten
game.
football, something we're not used to seeing Oregon do, right? Come in there first time in the conference and played really good, mean, put your face into the ground type football, something we're not used to seeing Oregon. Chucky, how do you feel about Florida winning their big game last week?
It was nice. It was nice to see us finally get something on the board against a decent team. DJ Lagway has got me believing that there's actually something here in this program.
Hope. There's
Still
some
don't
hope.
believe in Billy Napier at all. But hey, there's some definitely hopes. A little momentum on the recruiting trail, a win over a rival. Good things happening. Let's see how we do this weekend against Ole Miss.
Now, question, is Billy Napier slowly creeping up and you're saying that he deserves another season, or you still want to get rid of him?
He does not deserve another season at all. But
He's going to get one. He's going to get one. So.
Look, Lagway we trust. Whatever.
Lagway we trust.
We'll-
Hey,
we'll
listen,
ride with
you guys will be bowl eligible, hopefully, if they pull off a win in the next 2 weeks. Something that we kind of said.
We better be bowl eligible. We play at FSC next weekend. We better not lose that one.
Don't say better when FSU is going to come hard for you guys.
I don't care. We better beat that team.
FSU has a chance to double their season win total this week. So does Charleston Southern. So one of those teams is going to double their win total. I'm going to go with Charleston Southern this week.
Still fading FSU.
Crazy.
I love
FSU being 33.5-point favorites. They couldn't
wild.
cover that against Belen. What are they doing?
Not even a chance against Belen. How about you, man? Any games you liked last week?
Didn't play, so no. I actually lost a lot of money. I bet too much on LSU.
Yeah, you faded the crap out of Florida.
I'm not you, Carlos. I don't root for rival teams. Doesn't matter who they're playing.
I don't root. Yeah, I don't root for rival teams either.
You definitely rooted for FSU this year.
Did he?
Over you? I mean, I preferred them to win, but
Oh,
You rooted for
wow.
them. See, like I personally,
You like FSU more than you like Miami?
this year,
he
hell yeah.
openly rooted for
FSU
FSU.
teams in the
Openly
country.
rooted for
I love that
FSU.
shit.
I'm
I
gonna
love
say
that.
something. I'm gonna say something. Charlie's just a hater to hate. There's no reason to like FSU more
Dude,
than you like Miami.
Hating never takes a day off. I don't care if UF just lost. I walked out of that Texas stadium down losing 49-17, and I was cheering watching Georgia Tech
Alo-
run out that clock against Miami. That was
al-
beautiful.
alongside the Aaron Hernandez brothers walking along holding hands.
That's hey, you know what? We were high
That was.
fiving.
Did you guys see that picture?
Yeah, Carlos sent it to us. Of course we did. That's wild.
That is an
I
aggressive
kept my
play.
distance.
Yeah.
I kept my distance from those guys.
Is there
shit.
another player in college football that you'd be like, oof, you shouldn't be wearing that one? Oh, is it Peyton Manning?
Ray Lewis.
I would say Peyton
Lewis.
Manning.
I mean, go Kellen Winslow if you're going to go somewhere, not Ray Lewis.
Kellen Winslow's another one.
Let's be real. Miami has a few that you guys will avoid. All right, let's get into Week 13 football. We have a lot of good stuff. I don't even want to touch the rankings. If you want to talk about the rankings, go check us out. Go check out the blog post I did on the blog. Went through it. We all got our opinions in there. Basically, it hasn't really changed much. Same shit that from last week. Miami gets shit on as an ACC team. It is what it is. Here it is. We're going in Week 13. Doesn't matter. Week 13. Let's go with the biggest game of the in my opinion, the second biggest game of the weekend. Indiana at Ohio State. This is a big dog freaking match here. We got Indiana going to Ohio State in probably the most defining moment for Indiana's entire fucking career. Indiana with our buddy Curt Cignetti, Sigs Inside, killing it, 10-0 record. Do they have what it takes to beat Ohio State? I think Ohio State is the best defense in college football. They're ranked one of the best defenses in college football. They have a 28-point average score margin against teams. They're a top 10 efficiency rankings on both offense and defense, but they do have some vulnerabilities. We saw it when they went against Oregon. We'll take a note if they get exposed. They get sacked, 91st in college football in sack rate. Will Howard's been super great, exceptional. Some say he is a 15th in SP plus and 6th in limiting explosive plays. He is incredible. Sorry, that was their defense. Indiana is a surprise this year. We didn't think they were going to be 10-0. I think their offense has been pretty well, but my problem with Indiana is they don't really play anybody. Is it a fact that they're just super light schedule? This is going to be the toughest game they've played by far against a very good Ohio State team. I'm leaning Indiana at plus 13. I think Ohio State's still a little high for that. I like this game around 25-20. I think it's going to be a little bit of a slow scoring game, really slow down the ball. I think this is going to be a defense pulled game. Charlie, how do you feel about this one?
Yeah, I just gotta say it's been really annoying this week. I feel like every talk about this game has been like from the point of view of Indiana's strength of schedule or what it means in the playoff race. I'm just really excited to see these two teams play. I think Indiana's legit. They've done what you would expect a good team to do against a bad schedule. 13 points feels a little rich. I think if I had to lean, it would be Indiana to cover.
Yeah.
Obviously, Indiana hasn't played a team of this talent. The closest they did was against Michigan, and I think you saw a Michigan team that moved the ball against them, and an Indiana offense that played a little bit more conservatively than we're used to the rest of the season. But still, I think Indiana coming off a bye, they know this is the season. They got nothing to lose. I see this being a pretty close game. I think both the line, like the total and the spread are pretty sharp. So I don't know that I feel like ready to pull the trigger one way or the other. But if I had to lean, I would lean teasing the under with Indiana to cover.
Yeah, I think the under is actually a pretty good play too at 52. Stu, how do you feel?
I agree for once with Charlie here on this. I think this is one of the most polarizing matchups in the media. People are saying if Ohio State doesn't win by a certain number, they're going to say they stink, or Indiana, if they don't come within a certain number, that they stink, instead of just getting into the actual. This is just a great football game. Indiana well coached under Cignetti all year. Great QB play with Rourke. He's emerged into the Heisman chair race, maybe not to win it. Justice Ellison playing. I think the one worry, like you guys are alluding to, we don't know how good Indiana is based on the schedule, especially that defense. They haven't really faced any high-powered offenses. But we know this is a really good team with the way they've handled teams. And then Ohio State, just when the running game was starting to break out, another offensive lineman down for the season, and it's the center, tears his Achilles this week in practice. So now you have Simmons out and then the center out. It's a disaster for them. But this defense has elevated the level that we expected from a Jim Knowles defense and with all this NFL talent. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game, great football game, with Ohio State eventually pulling away. Indiana's best chance of winning this game is going to be able to find a way to score touchdowns in the red zone and turning Ohio State over. I'm not sure that's going to happen. And for Ohio State, there's multiple ways to win this game. Defense can overwhelm Indiana. The run game can continue to perform well. Will Howard, we can see him make more plays with his feet, which we saw against Penn State. Ibuka, Jeremiah Smith, Ennis, Tate, one of these guys can get loose. I took the under at a great number. I got it at 55 when it opened, but that doesn't do much help now. I still like it at 52.
Yeah, again, I have this game at 25-20 right now is what my metrics are giving me, 25-20. Underplay actually looks pretty good, and I like the Indiana. How do you feel about this game? Do you have a play on it?
Yeah, I like from a betting standpoint. I definitely like the Indiana side, just because I think plus 13 I think that's a bit steep. I feel like the only way that wouldn't cover would be if just Indiana are frauds, which I guess we'll find out. But like both Stu and Carl said, they've looked the part all year, so this will be their first big test. We know Ohio State's a good team. We've already seen it with them. This is by far Indiana's biggest game of the year, probably the biggest game of that program. So yeah, it's gonna be a great game. Excited to watch, but from a betting standpoint, yeah, give me a plus 13 because unless they're frauds, that should cover. I could see this being a very close game.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you in the sense that this game is going to really show us who Indiana is. Are they a top 5 team like everyone's saying, or are they a bunch of frauds that don't deserve to be there? Question, you guys, I know we don't like talking about rankings as much, but if Indiana loses here, do they fall off the map or do they stay up in the upper echelons? Charlie, how do you feel about it?
It's hard to say because it completely depends on how they look. There's a very different convo if they get
blown out, if they
don't have
let's say it's a
chance.
30-14.
I don't know. They're still really good. They'll be an 11-win team without any signature wins. I don't know what that would mean in the playoff. I'm not too concerned about it right now.
Again,
Whatever. I
I
can't.
think this is gonna
I
be
just
one
want
of
to
those.
watch that
It's
game.
how they lose. I think
I
it's
think
gonna
they're
be
done if they lose. I think they're done.
You think they're off
This
the
is the
map?
most prudent committee we've
game.
seen in a while. They're ranking Army number 19 to beef up Notre Dame. There's just too many teams stealing bids this year. We got the number 19 Army coming into South Bend.
I'm going to tell you something, Stu.
This committee, sheer stupidity.
If they lose on a last minute field goal, you think they're done?
Yeah.
Indiana?
No,
I
if
don't
they
know.
keep it really close on the road, that'd be ridiculous.
If they show up and take
penalize
it to
them
Ohio
much.
State, and Ohio State wins by
Yeah,
it's like an
but-
Oregon Ohio State type game where it's like within a field goal. I don't think they'd be
I
necessarily.
mean, Ohio State's averaging 28 points against all these players, so we'll see the margin wise. Stu, do you think? Sorry, not do you think? I'm just gonna say you're already talking shit about Army, and I'm not gonna have that type of language on this podcast. Okay, you're against America this entire time. I need you to stop. Next game, Penn State at Minnesota. I like this game. I think this game has a lot of playoff potential here. They're heading to Minneapolis with the playoff hopes. Minnesota coming straight off a bye. They're going to be ready for Penn State. Drew Aller at Penn State has been an incredible quarterback. He's top 5 passing game in terms of EPA and passing, complemented by a strong rushing attack. I think Penn State's going to take the win here, but I do Minnesota at plus 11.5. I think the Gophers quarterback, Mac Brusmer, has been super efficient. He's 60% of his passes. He's one of those check down quarterbacks. Make sure he gets the ball moving. I like their Minnesota's ability to limit the big plays, and they're going to be at home field. They're going to capitalize here. I like it at 11.5. I have a strong light lean here on the total as well at 45.5. Stupid Stu, how do you feel about this game?
Right.
I don't like
lean where? Under or over?
Yeah,
Under at 45.5.
Oh,
Just looking at those numbers, Penn State is a 12.5 point favorite and an over under 45. When you have a low over under and then you have a double digit favorite, that just bodes well usually for taking the dog with the points. Also for Minnesota, you have senior day coming home, coming off the bye. Love the spot for Minnesota here. If they can get out to a fast start, you're going to be having a lot of points and you're going to feel real good about this play. I can't make it a play though, because Minnesota's only averaging 105 rush yards a game. And that's going to put a lot of pressure, like you were saying, on Max Brosner to play well. And I just think Penn State has a little too many weapons. So I won't make this a play, but I do think from a handicapping standpoint, looking at that senior day off the bye, double-digit points at home, and a low over-under game, I do think that's the right play if you're going to go somewhere.
I like it. Charlie?
I mean, Minnesota, the team I was riding for a while. I don't know. I feel like I lost a read on them. They've been playing so well since they got blown out earlier this year. I think it was Michigan that blew them out in September, and they just went on a run with really good results. And they beat Illinois on the road. They murdered Maryland, and then last week they just sucked. They lost to a Rutgers team that had been falling apart. I know that this game's going to mean a lot to Minnesota. Metrics kind of love Penn State to cover that 11.5, but we know Penn State's one of these teams that they beat teams that they have to beat, but they don't necessarily blow them out. So it does feel like 11.5 is a sharp number. I probably won't be making a play. If I had to lean, I would lean the over, not the under. but I don't think it'll be a play either way. So this will be a fun game to follow. I think Penn State in the second half, it'll be a one-score game, but I could definitely see Penn State adding a score late to cover or opposite Minnesota with the backdoor. I just think it's going to be really tough. The one thing I will say to look out for is the Penn State offense. Tyler Warren is incredible, but it's insane that a tight end is both Penn State's best rusher and their best receiver over the last month. So I think if Penn State wants to be real and be a top 5 team and a national title contender, I think they got to start showing that Singleton, some of these running backs, and some of these receivers can step up and be a bigger part of the offense, which we just haven't seen.
Yeah, I agree. Javi, you have a play on this game?
I don't really have a play on it, but I do want to keep my eye on it. Just see Penn State. I've been waiting to see if they're there. We know they're good, but are they, like Carlos was saying, are they like playoff ready? I'm always worried about Penn State's offense. They never look very good. They're always relying on like some superstar, like a Saquon Barkley or something like that. Right now, their best player is a tight end. That's crazy. Yeah, but as a play, I don't know. I like what they were saying. The Minnesota side, that seems fun, but I'm probably just gonna stay away from this game.
Respect. I think this is again, we're going through my favorite games. Not every game here will probably get a play. I do this game a lot, though. I think Penn State, Minnesota is going to be a fun game to watch. Next big game I got, Kentucky at Texas, number 3 Texas. We have a Texas team who is fighting to make names for themselves. They've been getting a lot of shit. Indiana gets a lot of shit. Texas is getting a lot of shit without a lot of negative backlash. Texas has a super easy schedule, so I'm excited for this game. They're playing at Texas. I think this is going to be a highlight in Texas's in season here. I really want to see a strong defensive game here coming from Texas. I want them to earn that number 3 spot. I think they're going to thrive on takeaways here. They have 22s this season and 13 in the past 5 games. Their offense is been all over the place. We've seen them do really well. We've seen them do kind of boring, average offense. I'm not really worried about their offense. Kentucky's defense isn't that great. I like the under here at 47. I think this game will probably be in that 29-12 range. I do something that you were saying, Stu, is maybe give the reins to our boy Archie, man. Let him get the ball. Let's save up Quinn Ewers for the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? I think both teams here have a tendency to score low. Give me the under at 47. Stu, how do you feel about this one?
Another game, just like I was talking about, a huge over-under on a low over-under of 46.5 points and a huge favorite with Texas, a 20.5 point favorite. Usually that tends you to want to take the number here. I have no play because I think the Wildcats absolutely stink.
Suck.
I know this committee probably thinks they're on the outside looking in of a top 25 team, but this team is horrible. And Texas's defensive line impressed me last week against Arkansas. Jackson, Taylor Green didn't allow him to get outside of the pocket. Tons of young players playing well there. Their defense really is emerging. On the offensive side, I couldn't agree with you more there, Kevin. Offense very clunky. UF performance looks like an anomaly of the past. 315 total yards against a crappy Arkansas defense last week. Ewers 20 of 32. That's not very good. 176 yards. That's awful. Versus the 124th ranked pass secondary in the country. Dare I say Archie time? Yeah, I'm 100% in on Archie. I would have benched Ewers already. And Texas's run game, not explosive at all. 129 yards on 41 carries. And this team's got real offensive issues. I can't back the Wildcats here because Kentucky stinks.
Yeah, no, I was looking at the spread at 20.5, and I was like, man, I don't know, because I could see this game to be a complete blowout with 6 points Kentucky and 20 something on Texas. And I think if Texas gets up ahead early, they're just going to focus on defense. They're not going to be worried on forcing big plays, which is why I'm thinking the under is a good play. Charlie, how do you feel about it?
The under. That's going to be a play for me. Bottom line is Texas has only scored over 35 in one game in the SEC, and that was against Florida, a game where Florida was playing a third-string quarterback and had a bunch of turnovers. And then their defense has just been very good. They gave up 30 to Georgia, also a game where Texas had a lot of turnovers, and their defense still held up really well.
Yeah.
And every other game they've haven't given up more than 2 touchdowns any other SEC game. So, and then we know Kentucky, just how inept that offense is. So I like the under here. I would love to take Texas to cover that number because I just think they're just in a different league than Kentucky this season. But their offense just hasn't put it on people unless they turn someone over. So I'll stick with the under here. And I agree 100% on Texas' resume is so overrated when it comes to just who they've beaten, even how they've beaten.
Yeah.
Even though I do think they deserve to be in the national title contender discussions because
Absolutely.
I think their defense is elite, and I think they got playmakers, even if they haven't quite put it all together yet this year.
Absolutely. I'm not hating on the fact. I actually put up a poll on Twitter. I wonder how that poll is. I haven't even really seen it right now. But I'm not hating the fact that they're in playoff conversation. They absolutely deserve it. They're a very good coached, ran team. It's not their fault. Their schedules has been super easy. But also their wins have been boring. Like I haven't seen anything super sexy about them. I also think at 3, that's a high number. I think that might be a little bit high compared to some of the other teams out there. But I do think that they absolutely should be in the playoff and in contention. How do you feel about that game?
I kind of on with all you guys, really. I like the under here too. Texas's offense hasn't looked good at all recently, and I think I think the Kentucky Georgia game was an anomaly. They took it to Georgia, but it was like a night game at home for Kentucky. This is on the road in Texas. I could see the Longhorns stomping them, but I don't know. I don't feel good about this offense at all. I could see maybe a 28-7 kind of win. Maybe they cover barely, but I like the under. I like the underplay here.
Yeah, respect the move.
I have a question on Texas' schedule. If they were to beat A&M at the end of the year, let's say they beat Kentucky and then they beat A&M, they'll have what 4? They'll have played 4 ranked teams, 3 ranked wins. They'll have the loss to Georgia.
Their biggest win is Vanderbilt right now. That's their key win.
Yeah, I don't think they have. They haven't really played anybody, dude.
They lose that game.
Oklahoma was still ranked, I think, at the time when they played them, right?
Nah, that doesn't count. I don't care where you were at the time. It's what you are. I think
if they lose to A&M,
with Texas,
they're left out.
Yeah, I think if they lose to A&M, they're out.
We don't know who else is going to lose, so we can cross that bridge when it gets there. But their resume will be pretty thin at that point. But if they win the next 2 weeks, they'll also be in the SEC title game with a chance to play back-to-back.
Do they play the SEC title game though?
So,
do they play?
If they beat A&M, they'll be in the SEC title game. Like they control their destiny.
Yeah, I think if they beat Texas A&M, they're probably gonna stay up top 3. I don't even see why they're gonna. It's been coming out all over the place, right? Like Kiffin talks about it. What's the point of playing if I'm at -3? If I'm on rank 3rd, I'm gonna get in no matter what, right? Who cares about that?
Yeah, the issue with that Lane Kiffin stuff is he's out there like politicking. He's saying he has sources from other coaches. That could be all Lane Kiffin talking out of his ass. I don't disagree with what he's saying. To play a huge conference game like that when other teams can sit on the sideline, it's not necessarily an advantage. But he's over there playing politics.
I do understand what he's saying though. If you lose the conference championship, you're gonna get ranked a lot lower. If you get an injury, let's say even if you win and you lose your starting QB, look what happened to FSU. They went from being a top 2 team in the country, dropped them down to top 5 or whatever, just because they had an injury, right? Does that matters?
Georgia, look what happened to Georgia last year. They lost a conference game and they were out.
Yeah. Whole point is Texas has to win.
We cannot do this thing where like the SEC championship itself matters. Like this is still college football. I hate this combo. I think it's bullshit. That's the one thing I don't like about it. Everything shouldn't just be seen from a playoff lens. I think it would be like you're gonna tell me Ole Miss, Texas, Tennessee, these teams that either have never won an SEC title or haven't won one in a generation wouldn't care about winning an SEC title and hanging a banner and getting a bye game that puts you in probably either the number 1 or 2 seed. That's going to give you a great chance at playing in the semifinals and for a national title. That's all that matters. I get what Lane Kiffin's saying, but it's ridiculous. It's just shit talking.
Texas hasn't won an SEC set.
Never. They're their first year in the SEC.
Oh, that's right. They're their first year in the SEC.
I don't say it, but that would be really cool for that program to be able to like come into the SEC and win. That would be a monumental.
Did Missouri do it?
If they beat A&M, they're playing Georgia.
Missouri's never won the SEC. What are you talking?
They made it to the title like 2 games in a row.
They won the SEC East. Yeah.
After we heard how great the SEC was, this crappy Mizzou came in and went to
Texas. That's because you're in Tennessee. It's because you're Tennessee. You suck.
They play Georgia. If they beat A&M, they'll play Georgia, right?
I think so.
So right now it's Texas and Texas A&M are 1 and 2, right? So I think Georgia's number 3.
Yeah,
actually.
I think Alabama goes ahead of Georgia.
So I think it's Texas. I think it's Texas Bama if Bama wins out. If Texas wins and Bama stays winning, that would be the 2 top SEC contenders.
Oh yeah, I guess Bama would get a shot at the title.
All right, next big game. I actually think this game is one of the biggest games in for the playoff and specifically for their conference playoffs. BYU at Arizona State. I have this game, Arizona State -3. I think BYU's loss to Kansas just destroyed Kansas's dreams, but it did show BYU's they're flawed. They're a flawed team. I think that Arizona State is going to come in here. They're playing at home. They are going to fight for their chances to keep their Big 12 title hopes alive. Give me Arizona State at -3. Charlie, how do you feel about this game?
I lean Arizona State as well. I think BYU is going to be able to celebrate Hanukkah at home this year. I think they're going to lose and not be in the playoff. I do got to point out that BYU, where they're being ranked, I think is unfair. I think that's one of the things that's like their resume on paper. They have legit wins. For some reason, they just get completely discounted, which I think is BS. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Yeah, exactly. But I think that's BS. Like you should get credit for beating Kansas State and curb stomping them.
They put them behind SMU.
They get no credit for it. Yeah, they beat SMU, who like is a top 15 team. But whatever. But regardless of that, I think Scatabo, Arizona State, playing well. Kenny Dillingham has done this year is one of the most underrated coaching jobs. Their over/under, I think, was 4.5 before the year, and look where they're at. They're contending in the Big 12 in their first year. So super impressive. Scatabo, hey, that guy's fun to watch. I think Stu was talking about him earlier this year.
Week 2 of the year, man. It was awesome. I watched him play against Texas State. Man, Cam Scatabo, man.
Listen, there's 2 things to love: Scatabo and cock. That's who he likes to ride on.
The way he's running, he could play for the Cocks, man. He's a monster.
Stu, how do you feel about this game?
I don't really have any more takes. I think it's actually a very fair spread game. I think it's dead even. Arizona State's catching 3 because they're at home. I don't think BYU's bad. I think they're a good team. They run the ball well. They play great defense. They control time of possession versus everyone. That's a good recipe to win a lot of football games. Their defense is playing excellent. What's fascinating to me is just how quick things can turn in college football. Look at BYU last week against Kansas, just a tough scene. 2 minutes left on the 15-yard line. First down right there, couldn't score. Held Kansas to 242 total yards, dominated time of possessions, and now you're looking at a game on the road where you're a dog, and if you lose this game, you're not even in the conference title. Things can turn quick. I just think that's a wild thing about this sport, and that we're seeing as these games elevate in importance as the year goes on.
Yeah. Charlie, listen to me. How have you got to play on this game?
I like the BYU side. It's close enough to where I think BYU is a pretty good football team.
I was just laughing because it was BYU. I hate BYU. Go ahead.
I want to see the actual best teams in the country play against each other. I know that may be an unpopular take, but it's just kind of what I feel like.
So you just want all SEC teams is basically what you're saying.
Not SEC teams, but if the best teams in the country are in the SEC, then whatever. It is what it is. You know what I mean? I want to see the best teams in the playoff. That's why we got this whole system. Not to let's just let Boise State in because they've done absolutely nothing and have a good running back that puts up Madden numbers against no one.
It's ridiculous. He's ridiculous. That guy is ridiculous. Gentry's a beast.
Yeah, whatever. I'm ranting. But I do think that BYU's a pretty good team. And, if they're as good as I think they are, I think they shouldn't have a problem covering -3. If you want to take a play, that would be mine.
In my head about this game, I just feel like both when you look at BYU roster and you look at Arizona State, I just like Arizona State's roster more. I like Levitt. I like Scatabo. Who does BYU have other than Retzlaff? That's not as exciting. It's not as fun. But yeah, again, tight game. I could be talking out of my asshole. BYU could destroy him. But I do think Arizona State has more to lose here. I think they're going to really fight for it. I think they want to see Colorado in that Big 12 championship. And right now, that's what's shaping it up. SMU, Virginia. SMU is coming to this on a 7-game win streak. They're 6-0 in the ACC for their first time in the ACC. They have a 74.6% chance of securing a win here. Virginia 5-3, 3-3 in the ACC is fighting for bowl eligibility here. I like SMU at -9.5. I think their high-powered offense is just going to be dominant against a very weak Virginia defense. Stupid Stu, how do you feel about this game?
Spread-wise, I have no action on here. If I was going to make a play on the spread, I think you have to look at SMU or no play. Virginia is not a very good football team.
Yeah.
They were lucky as heck to cover last week. They just aren't explosive enough on offense. Man, watching them try to throw the ball past the line of scrimmage is just very hard for them to do. It's just no good. I took the under here. I like the under here. I got it at 58. I think it's now around 57.5.
57.5. I have that as a light take, yeah.
Virginia does not turn the ball over. Tony Elliott coaches them really well. They move really slow. The run game has emerged a little bit. It's dangerous taking an under here against a Rhett Lashley team, but Virginia's at home. I think they can get enough first downs, no turnovers, and SMU's just trying to win and move on. They got big games ahead of them.
I like it. Charlie, how do you feel about it?
I think Stu nailed it. I just think he's gotta follow his logic for the bet that I'm gonna bet, which is I lean under, but that's because but what I'm worried about not hitting the under is SMU just going off and scoring a lot. So why don't we just take the Virginia total points under? And that's what I'll be hitting, and that's my bet.
What's the
So I
total
got
points under?
Virginia. It's 23.5, and I got the under on Virginia total points.
I have them right there at 24.
So
That's right on my line, dude. But I do the underplay on there. Stu, how do you feel about the under of the Virginia?
I took it on Sunday. I got it at 58. It's one of my favorite picks.
But just Virginia total.
Oh no, I'm gonna double into it because that's like a different bet that's correlated with what I believe. Going back to the well, taking another drink, dude. Here we are.
How do you feel about this game?
I didn't care for it till you gave me that Virginia play. I really like that. I think that's a super smart play. I think that SMU could absolutely stomp them. Virginia's trash. And I actually really like that play. I just actually play some. As I'm talking, I'm making that bet right now.
I love that. I love when we're doing live betting on the show. All right, I got two more games for us.
I want to
here.
get it before it moves.
I got Colorado at Kansas. I feel like this is just going to be a fun game. Colorado is desperate to get in this Big 12 championship. They want to make that college football playoff so bad you could smell it on them. And I think college football wants Colorado to be there. I think they're going to be a little disruptor here in the playoff. Colorado sitting at 8-2 goes to face a Kansas team that we saw what they played like last week. I think they're riding high on a 4-game win streak. They were 2.5 point favorites, gone up to 3. Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, both Heisman candidates. I think Kansas has won 3 of their last 4 games. They play every game pretty tough. Jayhawks have running back Devin Neal, who averages 5.7 yards per carry with 12 touchdowns this year. Their ground game is going to be super critical. I think that Colorado is just going to be a little bit too much for them. I don't like the spread, but I like Colorado money line at -140. How do you guys like about it? Charlie?
This game, I think both the total and the spread are pretty sharp. I love Kansas offense and how they're playing right now. And the numbers don't say do this, but I just feel like this could be potentially one of the funnest games of the season. So I might just take an effort. Let's bet the points and go over and bet
59.5.
Bet the total over just for fun. Just for fun.
Yeah.
Give me like
that was my play, Carlos. My play here is all pure fun.
Just all balls.
I respect it.
2 fun offenses. I think stars on both sides of the field. And let's just bet the over.
I like it, Stu.
And this will be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, to me, this is actually the most exciting game of the entire week. It sounds crazy. I was waiting to make a play on this game to see what you guys have to say. I really like Kansas here in the spot. I just can't pull myself to pull the trigger on them. Jalen Daniels playing well, like you were saying. He's still inaccurate at times, but less turnovers the last 4 weeks has helped them win. Devin Neal, 7 touchdowns the last 4 games. The spot scares me, though, because Kansas is coming off a tough 3-game stretch. They just played Kansas State, Iowa State, and BYU back-to-back. That's 3 borderline top 25 teams. And then Colorado, I just think you're buying at the highest point of the stock here. 8 straight covers against the spread for the Colorado Buffaloes. They're the hottest team in the country covering spreads. This, to me, seems like the peak of Colorado. Number 16 in the country. We got to take a step back here. They've really only played 3 or 4 decent teams. They lost 2 of those games, and the one team they beat, Baylor, was on a Hail Mary. They actually had a Hail Mary at halftime, then a Hail Mary to win the game. And I think this Travis Hunter show is getting a little out of hand. I mean, he's doing – I mean, there was a deflected interception that goes into his hands, and then he closes a Heisman thing. They're talking about it the whole time. This Buffalo stuff is getting a little too high. We saw this last year, and they just fell flat on their face, and they could not stop. I really want to take Kansas. That 3-game stretch scares me, so I just haven't made a play yet.
Don't let Cam Ward's Heisman thing distract you from one of the funnest things.
We'll get to Cam Ward later.
Awesome.
How do you feel about this game?
My play here is definitely the over. Let's be honest. The world needs prime time in prime time. Everybody wants the college football playoffs. That's what could you imagine Coach Prime in the college football playoffs, it would be an absolute fucking circus.
Dude,
With
stuff that
Sanders and
dreams are
Hunter,
made out
him just, all the propaganda, they're in the playoffs, the Heisman pushes for both of them. It's going to be fucking insane. But I could very much see, like what Stu was saying, this is the spot. This is like such a perfect spot for them to lose.
Just a peak. This is the peak.
This is like you've seen them play no one, and we've seen how bad they can be. But I don't want to bet against them, so I want to take the over. I want to bet for some fun, and let's just keep this rolling. See, that's a shitty team that I would rather have in the college football playoffs over Boise State. Get the fuck out of here. That'd be way more fun.
I just think, they're just a more fun team. Like it's
that's
just
what I'm
a
saying.
better time.
Like Coach Prime in the playoffs or Boise State?
Do we call Shedeur Sanders Prime Jr.? Is that
no?
We gotta give. He's gotta have some nickname.
He hasn't gotten it yet. You gotta be
Shedor's a unique enough name that I think it just works. I don't think we're confusing Shedeur with anyone else.
I like Prime.
He's gonna flop in the NFL anyway. Hot take.
Yeah, because he's gonna go with Daddy Dion, and then they're gonna be an awfully coached NFL team. So yeah, probably Iowa State at Utah. This line's here set at -7 with total 42. Iowa State. They're heading up this matchup as Iowa's heading up this matchup at Utah as a favorite. They're going to try to strengthen their position as Big 12 competitors here. They're 5-2 in the Big 12. They're coming off a strong season, boasting a great little defense at 20th in EPA per play. Offense has been decently effective, particularly on the ground. I think Rocco Becht provides some stability at QB, and he doesn't really turn over the ball as much. Utah, on the other hand, has struggled after they had a quick little hot start in the beginning of their season. I think their offense ranks among the worst in the conference, just around 22.7 points per game with a -8 turnover differential. Give me Iowa State here at -7. I think they demonstrated a strong performance all season long, and they're going to take it to Utah. Stupid Stu, how do you feel about this game?
This is another one, like I was saying. It's just such a big spread considering the over-under is 41.5. 7.5 doesn't seem crazy, but they're basically saying there's going to be like 2 touchdowns in this game. I don't think I can bet this. I actually think Iowa State's a pretty good football team, and Utah absolutely stinks. But the same thing I said a few weeks ago, Utah in that damn stadium late in the season with Kyle Whittingham, they just always find a way to win. They did it a couple weeks ago in a game they had no business winning. I'm staying away from the Utes. I don't know what it is in the air, but Iowa State's actually a good team and Utah's awful. But I just can't take Iowa State with the hook at 7.5.
Damn, dude! You know what? In my metrics, I have this game point out Iowa State 37, Utah 17. I can
totally see that.
I see this like Iowa State going full way. I guess you're right.
Got burned in that stadium 2 weeks ago, though, going against Utah there. I don't know what it is, man.
It did. Charlie, how do you feel about this game?
Give me Iowa State. The Utah offense is pathetic. They haven't won a game since September. They kept one game close only. Isaiah Wilson, I believed in Iowa State last week, and they got demolished. They just can't move the ball.
Yeah. How do you feel about this one?
I'm staying away from it. I have lost so much money on Utah this year. It doesn't matter which way I bet them.
Doesn't matter. If you're on the wrong side.
I've been on the wrong side.
Doesn't matter where I go. I'm on the wrong side.
I swear to God, I think I've done like 7 bets on Utah, and I think I'm 0-7 on all of them, and I've just been on the wrong side. Game totals, overs, unders, spreads. Like, get the fuck out of here. I don't want anything to do with that.
Quarter unit. Help me out here.
Something.
I don't want to do anything.
I'm going the other side. I'll give you a kickback.
Something.
I don't want anything. I do the Iowa State side, but I guarantee you if I fucking take Iowa State -7.
Don't. Stay home.
It's done. It's
Stay
done.
home.
So I'm just going to pass on this game. I'm not touching it.
I respect the move. Once a team burns me for too long throughout the season, it's time to just avoid them like wildfire.
So bad.
All right. So those were my favorite games this week. I think those are the games that have the most playoff implications there. Obviously, there's some other games that I want to talk to. Florida, Ole Miss. Charlie, I think this is a big game for Florida. Not in the sense of playoff implications here on their part, but I do think that Ole Miss really wants this win. I think Florida wants this win. I think they want to get bowl eligibility super early. Don't worry about FSU. I think they're trying to lock it in there, lock it in for pride. How do you feel about this game? Your Gators, are they going to take it to them? Are they going to be able to cover the spread? Are they going to fight them? How do you think?
Vibes are good. The game last week was absolutely electric. I don't think vibes have been this high since last year when we demolished Tennessee in the swamp. It's just DJ Lagway looks good. He's hurt where he can't run, and yet he still carved up LSU and hit him with those deep passes. This week, I don't feel too confident in the game. I think Ole Miss is one of these metric darlings that are top 3 in every single metric you look at, which is crazy to me because I don't necessarily think of them as a top 3 team. But if that's what they are, Ole Miss should cover that 10 points pretty easily. But man, the swamp was rocking. I expect it to be rocking again this weekend. We'll see. We'll see what the Gators have. A little bit of house money in that we got that FSU game next week to get bowl eligible. But if all these vibes are true, real, and Billy's kind of turned it around and figured it out, Florida should put up a fight and keep it close against a really good Ole Miss team and even be in it till the end. We'll see. I won't be betting it because I don't like betting Gator games. I got enough riding on the line with my mood for the whole week set by that. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, pride's on the line for you, buddy. Stu, how do you feel about the Florida game?
To me, this is an Ole Miss or nothing here. I just don't like the number 10.5. If it gets down to 10, I might take a bite at it. I really don't like the spot for Florida here. They're really hurt on the depth chart. They're coming off 3 tough games against Georgia, Texas, and LSU. Ole Miss coming off the bye. And this is not like you're going to surprise the Gators, walk into the swamp. Like, Ole Miss knows what they're playing for here. They're playing for everything. I think this is actually a decent team. This is not LSU. They're going to be able to attack Florida's secondary, who's already banged up, and just played every single player in that secondary, played all 95 snaps last week. Ole Miss's RPO game is really effective in the first down, and the play action is one of the best in the country. I think they're going to have Florida's defense moving all kinds of ways. This is not going to be an easy game for Lagway or the Gator offensive line. Ole Miss coming off their best defensive performance late in the season. One of the best play callers in the country in Lane Kiffin. He's going to put on a show in front of the Gators. They didn't offer him that big salary. They kept stupid Billy, and they're going to sit there, and their jaw is going to be on the floor as they go back into the toilet where they belong. If it comes down to 10, I'm hitting that. I'm hitting it. I pray these Gator fans bring it down to 10.
That wasn't even good shit talking.
I just love this.
What was that?
What was that? Who do we always mention about Florida? What's the name of the QB that we always talk about?
Rex Grossman. He sleeps in that play.
Fucking Rex Grossman, toilet bowl cleaner.
That
That's all he is right now.
The GOAT.
God.
You're talking about the GOAT.
You're talking about a current janitor for the
We're
University
talking
of
about
Miami or something.
the Heisman when Eric Crouch stole that shit. That was bullshit.
How do you feel about the Florida game? Are you watching it? Are you bored, or do you not even care?
I think Ole Miss absolutely stomps them. My only thing, I don't like the -10.5. I wish it was more like 14.5 because I think they're going to get.
I wish it was 20.5, but I'll still put it.
Hey,
in
take the line. You could bet an alternate line. Bet an alternate line. Get that juice.
I am, but it
I like
only lets me go to it only
I
lets
like
me go
that.
to +12. I go to 14 if I could. 14.5. It won't let me go
Gators,
that far.
Gators. The Florida Gators are the only Gators that drown in water, baby. They're
Lagway's
done.
on one leg.
I will
He's
say-
crippled. It's a noon game. The swamp isn't going to be rocking at
Yeah.
noon.
But
Give me
it's
Ole
also
Miss.
11 a.m. I think noon games when you're traveling away from your time zone, like that's a little weird. It's an 11 a.m.
So it'll
game
be
for Ole
for
Miss.
them.
They're
I
coming
can't
off
know
the
if it's-
bye, though. I agree,
11
but they're
a.m.
coming off a bye.
Yeah, I don't know if
They're
it's
coming off a bye. They
positive or
have
negative, the
they
noon
literally
game,
have
'cause
everything to play for. Everything is on the line.
I'll
for
tell you
them.
what. We've owned Ole Miss lately. We don't play them that often, but we beat them in 2020 when Kyle Pitts just nutted all over them. We beat them when they had the top 5 team coming off an Alabama win.
How
and we
did Tim
killed them
Tebow
in Will
do?
Greer.
Look,
Tim
this is
Tebow
the
lost,
exact kind
but
of
then
spot where
he gave the greatest speech ever. It was a Pyrrhic victory for Ole Miss, led to a national championship. Thanks for bringing that up, Stu. Great point. 2008 Gators, Major Wright, Percy Harvin.
It was the
Pouncey
turning point.
twins,
It was the
Marcus
Florida Gator
Gilbert,
turning point.
Riley Cooper, he who will not be named that wore 81, Chris Rainey,
say his
Jeff
name.
Benz. I mean, we just
Say
had star
his
after
name.
star.
Say his name. If you're gonna shout out his number, yes, say his name. Aaron freaking Hernandez.
this is the
Major
type of
Wright,
game that Ole
Major
Miss will
Wright will be
lose,
doing
though.
Mr. Two-Bits. Major
not
Wright doing
against
Mr.
the Florida
Two-Bits
team.
this weekend. Can't wait.
I think the
This
Gators
Florida
gonna
team
get
is
rocked
bad.
here.
They're gonna get rocked. This is the kind of game that Ole Miss would normally lose because I don't think Ole Miss is a winning program. I always say that. They have great recruiting classes and never do fucking anything with them. They're like a fake good SEC team. But Florida, they have a one-legged quarterback. It's not happening.
I'm not gonna bet this game.
Javi.
I'm not gonna bet this game. I think I want Florida to win though. I'm here just for the
If
chaos.
I can get 14.5, I'll bet it. Right now, it doesn't let me.
I got something for Mr. Ewok lookalike winner over here. That Ole Miss was the tailgate you went up to in Gainesville. I'm pretty
Oh.
sure
it's
that's the
LSU.
game you went up for. Oh, is LSU? All right.
It was LSU, and LSU was ranked 4
And
at the
who won?
time. It was, and UF won. That was actually a
That was
good
Joe
game.
Burrow, I think.
No, it was Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, and Leonard Fournette was before that. It would have been Joe Burrow when Brad Stewart got a pick six at the end to seal it.
What, are you sure it was? I don't think
Yeah,
it
it was
was.
a night game. We were all
It
blue.
was a night
Yeah,
game.
it would have been that because I went up for that. I remember. Yeah, we threw a tailgate.
My first and only time in the swamp.
Wow, look at that. Next time you go to Ole
It's
Miss,
cool.
though.
It's
Next
an
time you go
electric
to-
atmosphere.
Next time
I'm
you go to
not
Ole
like
Miss, you go to the Grove, you have a good time.
Nothing like an SEC night game atmosphere. It was super cool.
There might be no one left in the stadium to sing Tom Petty. They might get blown out of the stadium.
Yeah, it was a night game. The swamp was rocking. They were upsetting LSU, like playing spoiler. It was great.
I'm gonna say
I was
something,
also
guys.
watching FSU UM on my phone.
Oh, because that's an
Inside the
important game.
stadium.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
way better game. This game, we spent about 5 minutes too long on Florida here. That's a shitty program. Ole Miss is going to destroy them. Let's talk in about the second best game, or probably the best game of this week. Wake Forest versus Miami.
Second best. This is the best game. Watch your mouth.
Let's be real. It's probably not. I think Miami is in a fun little pickle here. I think Miami's going to dominate this game. They're going to come back off their bye. They're going to shake off that loss against Georgia Tech. They're going to show the entire committee put some respect on their fucking name. They're going to come in, destroy Wake Forest. Doesn't really mean anything. Wake Forest sucks anyways. But it's going to be a statement. It's going to be a statement. Cam Ward's shooting for the Heisman. If I had all the money in the world, I would bet all the Heisman money on Cam right now. Stu, talk to me about the Canes this week. How do you feel?
It's gonna be a really long day for Wake Forest's secondary. Miami coming off the bye. Cam Ward just was at home. He had to watch all this Heisman garbage with the Buffaloes all week. They put up a prompt. They didn't even put Cam Ward in the top 5. ESPN over here, just blatantly idiotic SEC in bed loving people. They put Cam Ward outside the top 5 in the Heisman race.
They didn't.
He's going to go out there. He's going to put over 500 yards on the Demon Deacons. He's going to throw for 6 touchdowns again. This is going to be an absolute Cam Ward show. And then they're going to be right back on the train. These two-faced losers. I cannot wait. As far as Miami's defense improving, I don't know if we're going to see much improvement here. Wake Forest is not good, but Hank Bachmeier is playing a lot better. They run lots of misdirection. Miami cannot seem to get lined up well in time. Dave Clawson's always been a really good coach. I don't think he has the firepower to come into Miami and win this game, but offensively, they scored over 24 points 3 games in a row, which is a huge improvement if you looked at how bad Wake Forest was to start the year. So I think the over's at 64, I believe. I'm not sure I could pull the trigger on that, but I could see some scoring here just because Miami's defense has not been able to stop a whole lot of teams. But Cam Ward is going to put on a show, and I cannot wait.
If Cam Ward throws 6 touchdowns, 64 is hitting. Sorry, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Especially with Miami's defense. Miami's defense is good for 24 points, no matter what.
Wake Forest is pretty bad.
It doesn't matter who
though.
you play.
This team's bad. Charlie hasn't said anything. You know this Wake Forest team's bad. He's been jumping on the phone every week. This team, he can't even get behind this one. The Demon Deacons.
I was under the impression we were going to talk about games that are relevant.
We just talked about Florida Ole Miss, bro. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, that game matters. What the hell are we talking about?
It kind of. Florida has a chance to be
Forest,
playoff eliminators here.
I do gotta say, if fans couldn't play victim, they couldn't play anything because everything is just crying always. Like all this Cam Ward, yeah, Travis Hunter deserves a Heisman over Cam Ward.
He's not even the number 1 receiver on his team.
No, Travis Hunter doesn't deserve it. He's actually bones a few coverages.
If you take Travis Hunter off Colorado, they're still 9-1.
Cam Ward,
you take Cam Ward off Miami,
still has a very
we're
good
1-11. We're not a good football team.
I think
it's not the most valuable player; it's the most outstanding.
Okay,
and what Travis Hunter's doing is the most outstanding thing in college football this year.
Yeah, no, we'll give it to a cornerback with a few interceptions and 9 touchdowns.
Let's talk about the most outstanding body hair. How do you feel about this game?
I'm a huge homer on this game. Give me everything Canes. I think, again,
if you could get it at plus 14 or minus 15.5, I would get it at minus 15.
Nah, I'm betting minus 24. I'm betting the over. I think you cover 64.5 by themselves. I think I'm going to one-up Stu. I think Cam Ward goes for 7 touchdowns, not 6.
Maybe he throws 6 and rushes 1 in, maybe.
Yeah, but I do think he's going to need to because Wake's probably going to put up like 30 points against this garbage-ass defense that Miami has. I've been screaming it all game. I've been screaming it all season. I don't care. This defense is bad. Right?
Bad secondary. Great D-line, though. Good D-line.
It doesn't matter. That's irrelevant. It's a bad defense. They're all bad. As a unit, they are bad.
All right. That's Miami. That's our speech about Miami. They're going to take it to the house. Florida's going to get rocked. I have 3 bets here that I like that are boring in these games, but I think they're going to be little fun bets. I'm just going to go through them. You guys can shit on them. Pick them. I don't care. Illinois, Rutgers. I have this game at under 48. I think this is going to be a low-scoring battle in this Big Ten matchup with both teams relying on their defenses. Next game I have Bowling Green at Ball State. I like the under here at 57. I think this is a really high total point, despite this game being pretty decent large spread at 12.5. I think we could see a lot slower pace game here and fewer points. Next game I have USC, UCLA. I like the over one. Over 51.5 here. I think this is a nice little rivalry game here. It's crossed down. I expect both teams to have some fireworks here and put up some numbers. Give me the over at 51.5. Stupid Stu, how do you feel about these? Do you have any to add?
Crosstown rivalry. I got UCLA +5. I think they're playing really well. USC changing quarterbacks. Give me the Bruins in there. Wisconsin at Nebraska. I like the Badgers +2. Looking much better. Luke Fickell has that team playing much better last week against Oregon. Defense playing better. Nebraska's on this slide that they just can't get out of. I'll take a whiskey shot and the points. So let's go Badgers. Buffalo, I like +2 at Eastern Michigan. Sean Bobby Boucher, Dolak, this linebacker. I talked about him earlier, man. Guy's an absolute wagon. 137 tackles on the season, 66 solo. Give me the real Buffaloes, not this fake primetime nonsense. I'll take them +2. Stanford at Cal safety, talking trash, calling Stanford the little dogs, and we're the Bears. If Daniels plays, he got a little shaken up, the Stanford QB. I'll take him. I really like Troy Taylor, +15.5. That's a lot of points. And then the last one, I like NC State at Georgia Tech. I think this is a Friday night game. Might be tomorrow night. Under 54. Both teams move at a really slow pace. 54 just seems a little high here.
Nice. Charlie?
I like over in Washington State, Oregon State, 56.5. I think those are both pretty bad defenses and good offenses. My hold your nose and just bet it. I hate it, but Missouri to cover against Mississippi State. I can't stand Missouri.
Ew, Missouri. Ew, dude.
Mississippi State's not covering that. And that's all I got for now. One thing I'm close to pulling the trigger on is FIU -8 against Kennesaw State. I think the Brian Bohannon thing was just weird. And I think it's a week after, and I think you'll see like the season's is over for Kennesaw State. So I think FIU has shown some life the second half of the year, and I think they'll win easily against Kennesaw State.
He went to the tailgate after getting fired. He went to the college football.
And gave him all the players hugs and
he was greeting them on the way in.
So
He's
sad.
tweeting about the administration at the tailgate.
That was a rough
disaster,
watch, dude.
man.
I felt so bad. for him. It broke my heart.
What about
I bet against them and they beat me, man. It's awful.
The one game that I'm not sure which direction to go is the fired off between Charlotte and FAU, where they both fired their coaches this week.
You go to FAU. You go to FAU.
Tom Herman.
Yeah, FAU's gonna be so much better now that Tom Herman's gone.
You go to FAU. They have more
know.
talent. They have more talent.
Tom Herman's done.
What do you
He
guys
won't
think
get
of?
another coaching job.
What do you guys think of Ray Lewis being rumored for the FAU job?
There's no chance. There's no chance. I don't think they're gonna give it to him.
It just came out of nowhere. It seemed weird.
Does he have any coaching experience?
Yeah,
No, but,
he coaches kids.
Does that matter these days?
I think we're shooting a little too high with Ray Lewis there. They just hired Willie Taggart and Tom Herman, and they're probably going to get Mark D'Onofrio or something out there. Pull him out of West Kendall League.
They gave this guy head coach for the Lakers, and he had zero coaching experience. Right? Who cares? He's got a name to him.
But he's proven to be a pretty good coach.
Yeah, but they gave him the chance before that. Do you have any plays this week that we haven't talked about?
No, nope, not really.
Good. Like to hear it. I think, man, I think this has been is a fun little college football weekend. There's a lot of things on the line. I think as the season is dwindling, we only got two weeks left in the season. There is a lot of games are on the line. A lot of these teams that we talk about for the college football, their goal should just be to win out, because we're at this point, you cannot trust a committee going in with an extra loss, even though you're a high-ranked team. I would go in there, try to dominate the best I can. For all these teams we talked about, Miami, Indiana, Ohio State, Oregon, right now seems to be like my favorite matchup for the conference. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. We talked about it in the beginning of the season, how these guys are going to see themselves probably 3 times this year, one of them being in the college football playoff as well. I'm really excited for it. I think this is a lot of fun. Should we set up a parlay here? I have an idea for a parlay. Charlie, ready?
Talk to me.
The Cock and Bulls. We're going to go South Carolina money line with USF money line. I don't even know what the odds are there. But I know South Carolina's playing nobody. I think they're playing Wolford. And USF is playing. Let's see.
I'm not sure it matters. They're probably going to lose.
Relax, dude. Relax. Relax. Let's find out who they're playing first. You don't know. Bro, they're playing against Tulsa.
Oh, that's a winnable game right there. Tulsa's really bad.
That's a winnable game. We got, let's go. USF versus Carolina.
Just when I thought I was out, you brought me back in here.
You brought me back in. A good gold Cock and Bulls parlay for this week. Make sure you guys tag. Make sure you guys follow it. We lost Javi there. Javi, you back? Nope. There he is. Javi, you missed out our parlay. We're doing Cock and Bulls, South Carolina, USF money line.
Cock and Bulls.
The Cocks and Bulls. All right, gentlemen. Any final thoughts for college football this week, Stu?
No, I think we went through a ton of the slate. All I want to do is, if anyone sees anyone on the committee, let me know. I'll find them, and I'll put one of these Geo stickers right on their face after I throw them to the floor.
Yeah, find them money, mother ducker. Buddy, Charlie, how do you feel about this week?
No, I'm excited. Let's see what we got in store. I think we got good games in every single window this week, so it'll be a fun one. Sit on the couch and watch. Clear the schedule Saturday.
Before you guys go, before we leave us, I want to do one thing here. I want to talk some Panthers hockey. We are progressing through the entire season. I think the hockey fans are getting itchy. Panther time is coming. The last year's Stanley Cup champs. Actually, is it this year's Stanley Cup? Do you say like the champions? I'm going to say this year's Stanley Cup champions.
The defending Cup champions.
Yeah. Defending Cup champions, and they're not holding back, baby. They are playing incredible hockey. They are not saying, hey, we won it, let's take a little break. They're coming out. They're roaring. They're skating. They're smooth. They have a lot of big wins against the Stars, against the Bruins, against the Jets, who we all thought were the best team in hockey, but they come back and we destroyed them at a 5-0 freaking score, baby. I freaking love that game. Barkov and Reinhart are playing pure magic on the ice. Bobby was a brick wall in the net. How do you feel about this Panthers team? Are they as good as I'm thinking, or am I just have huge homer bias? And I know you do too, but try and look through this objectively and tell me that I'm not crazy.
This team is, putting homer bias aside, yes, this team is as good as advertised. They're playing just super high level. They're beating good teams. We saw what really they can do. We saw what they can do when they really lock in. We saw it against Winnipeg in that home game. What was it? Few days ago. We just came out and that was a work of art. Like, we absolutely dummied them. It was top to bottom domination. Then we saw us go to Winnipeg this last game. We ended up losing. I think it was like 6-3, but the score, it was closer than we thought. We got off to a slow start. I think we were down 2-0. And then you saw us just, by the third period, it was a one-score game. So you saw them battle back. And that's just what you're going to see from this team all year. This team they have their style of hockey. They play it. They don't change it up for anyone. Doesn't matter what's going on in the game. They don't really change the way they play. They stick to their game plan. The only thing is that sometimes you do get slow starts because of our style of play. It's so dependent on just that heavy forecheck, forwards just being relentless on both ends of the ice, forechecking, getting back on defense, and we just overwhelm teams. And that's our style. That's when we play our best. That's just sometimes it's tough to maintain night in, night out. So you're going to see sometimes we're going to have some slow starts. Even though I think we were controlling possession in that game, we weren't able to score. And then Winnipeg we had a few lapses. Winnipeg got 2 quick goals, and then you're just playing from behind. So that's what you're going to see from them. I think in the games that we do end up losing, it's just going to be something like that. But this team it doesn't matter what the score is. They're never out of it. They're so deep. They're so confident. They're so seasoned already.
Oh, okay.
No, they're just seasoned already. They play. Yes, they are very sexy. But most of this team has gone through 2 cup runs already. finals loss and a finals win. They played a lot of hockey. There's nothing anyone on this team hasn't seen. And then you just have the new guys coming in and seeing that. And I've even seen some of them even talk about it. Man, this team is just, they got something special. There's a camaraderie. There's a bond. You could tell these guys have gone through everything. Nothing rattles them. Doesn't matter up, down, what the adversity is, injuries. Like they've seen it all, and they win. Man, we're off and running, and this looks like just get us to the playoffs already.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I think we're playoff ready. I think if the finals started right now, we would probably take it because we look so pretty.
Like this Panthers team is very much in that they've, in my opinion, have entered that big three Heat territory where it's like
the Rhino Barkey.
They're gonna be in the playoffs. It's just fucking let's get this regular season over with and get to the playoffs.
All these games don't matter. All these games that we're talking about don't matter. Just let's talk about the finals.
Yeah, they just have to handle their business and get to the playoffs, and let's rock and roll.
Yeah, I think that 6-3 loss that we had against the Jets. That 6-3, it was the Jets, but I think 2 of those were empty netters, weren't they?
Yeah, it was 4-3, and we actually got a power play with 2 minutes left, so we had a 2-man advantage, and then they dumped one out, banked one off the boards, and it went in perfectly on the empty net. So that was the game.
What's his name had a monster game against us too.
We're down 3-0 at one point in that game, and then we got it to 3-1, and all the way back to.
Scheifele is the guy. He had a hat trick, right? I think he had the first 3 goals.
Yeah. Should be interesting tomorrow to see the young centerman star Connor Bedard go against Forsling, Ekblad, Mikkola, Kulikov. Some of our defensive linemen are going to have a tough matchup with his speed. But let me tell you,
he hasn't been that great this year.
He's super talented, but he's running into a wagon.
Again, compared to the hype, he's been, and again, we're comparing him to this guy was being compared to Crosby and McDavid. Those are high things to follow, but yeah, I think we should body them. Tomorrow's a game where I'm betting -1.5. We should win by 2. Coming off a loss, also.
I haven't even thought about betting that one yet. Yeah, absolutely. I think the Panthers are going to take the Blackhawks to the face. A little more hockey talk here. A lot of kind of fun things, or not fun things. I shouldn't say fun things, but a lot of stuff happened recently. Ovechkin got hurt. He was in that record pursuit, doing really well. And
Boston firing their coach is fun, by the way, for us Panthers fans. That's very fun to watch.
Jim Montgomery getting fired is a good time. He should have gotten fired last season once he took the L. I think they were absolutely deserved to fire him. They put on Joe Sacco there as the interim head coach. Sacco is a bad name to have as your head coach. Boston's all over the place this year, man. I don't like him at all to do anything.
And it's crazy because I think Monty's record was 140 something and 50 something. He has a crazy good record. And it's President's Cup winner, lost in the first round. Then this last season, they were a good team again. Lost. We all know what happened. Lost to the Cats. So by all imaginable accounts,
he encouraged Pasta to go out there and fight with Kachuk. That's my favorite guy in the world.
Yeah,
idiot. maybe that's why he's getting fired. Stop sending our best players to go fight.
How do you feel about McDavid reaching 1,000 career points, dude? I think that's a big deal, man.
We're witnessing greatness, man. Just sit
the
back and enjoy
it. The guy's a superstar, dude.
It really is. This guy he's special. Just enjoy it. It was fun beating him last.
You won a cup?
Year.
Cup finals. He hasn't won a cup, but
what is it? McOverrated?
Yeah, you can't deny it. He's special. Is he ever going to win a cup? That's what it will define whether he's the greatest of all time or not.
Speaking of one of them, Ovechkin getting hurt is a big deal. I started saying I think he's been a lot of fun to watch his entire career. Takes an injury at the leg last week against the Utah Hockey Club, and I was
Do we know how long he's out for?
It's week to week. It's week to week until they haven't said anything else. But for a second there, man, I really thought he was going to take out Wayne Gretzky's goal or his record.
Why are hockey injuries always so vague? They never. He's got a lower body injury. They never say what it is.
Protecting the player.
It's always so weird.
Because hockey players are real men and they don't get hurt.
Ovechkin's just out week to week. You're
Ovechkin's out. What does that mean? He could be out with a
week to week with
leg.
A lower body.
That could be years.
He's on a peg leg. Doesn't matter.
It's because hockey's a vicious sport, man. They legit just protecting the players. Don't say what the injury is because, dude,
it's probably disgusting.
You're in the corner. You come back. You're still nursing it. You're in the corner, but everyone knows your right knee's tender, and all of a sudden, bam, you get a couple sticks there, in front of the net, right into the fucking knee. Like, who
You got a boy
cares?
like Chucky in there. You got a boy like Chucky knows that you got a tender knee. He's coming
You
for it.
think they
Click,
want
click.
someone like Sam
click.
Bennett or Matthew Tkachuk knowing what your best player's fucking injuries are? Are you out of your goddamn mind?
Nah, you don't want that. You don't want
They
that.
just no. It's mainly that.
Other things I have. Did you see about the referee that got destroyed during the
I saw
Avalanche
that
Flyers
clip.
game? Dude, he got wrecked. I think we talk about protecting the players. They need to start protecting these refs, bro. He got
Dude,
destroyed.
he was out cold. He got rocked. It was really bad.
Dude,
he got hurt.
Nasty little hurt.
Skating out there without a stick, you feel naked. Those guys are just out there. They're just targets. Poor guy.
Dude, he got rocked.
Poor guy, man. And Hall of Fame the Hockey Hall of Fame had their inductions. A lot of great guys went in there. Jeremy Roenick, Paul Dutsiak, Weber, Darwitz, Wendell Pohl, Colin Campbell, David Poyle. All got inducted in the Hall of Fame. Part of the 2024 class. Congratulations to all of them. Those are just a little bit of fun things that happened in hockey so far this season. We'll get into the hockey deep diving as soon as college football and NFL is over. Gentlemen, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk straight NFL football. See you, boys. All right, guys, we're back. You got the original two, me and Havo, sitting here. We're talking.
We're back.
We be back. We're talking NFL football, baby. Week 12 of NFL is slowly creeping up on us. We're still very early, but we had a lot of fun stuff happen last week. Chiefs finally took their loss, man. I think that was awesome. It was a record viewership people were watching. 31.2 million viewers watched that game. Watched the Bills, who I never root for. And let me tell you, last week I was like the world's biggest Bills fan. I love when the undefeated team lose. As a Dolphins fan, it's almost a thing we low key root for every year. Is for somebody to lose. As long as it's not the Dolphins, you don't want an undefeated team there. But that was a lot of fun watching the Chiefs lose. Giants benching Daniel Jones, going back to our boy in division.
Today he was fourth string in practice.
No,
Total
he
disrespect.
wasn't.
Yeah, they
No,
put
he
him at
wasn't.
fourth. He was in the fourth string QB.
Dude, I don't even know what to say about the Jets. The Giants. That franchise is.
It's like scout team at this point. They're just like disrespecting the fuck out of him after they paid him $200 million.
That's
What a
ridiculous.
joke.
Dude. That
know?
franchise is a joke, man. They were
The
so good.
Dolphins are bad. The Dolphins are bad, but you could also like imagine being the Jets or the Cowboys
I think the Dolphins are.
or the Giants.
Yeah, exactly.
All three of those franchises.
Exactly.
Like could you
We
just
have more
imagine?
hope than those other teams. Dolphins took in the dub, baby. Looking good. I don't want to say it, but I said it.
I'm not gonna say. I'm not buying in yet. We gotta be. If we beat
But
the
I
Patriots
said
this
it.
week, if we beat the Patriots this week, I will get hyped for the Thanksgiving game. That'll be the game that gets us back to 500, 6-6. Then we get into trouble because then I start believing again, and it's gonna get
Start
ugly.
swimming in the ocean with the Dolphins, baby.
Drinking the Kool-Aid.
But listen, the
We still
Dolphins
gotta-
are good, man. They had a great little game. I think they're heating up. I think Tua is playing a different style than he's used to. A lot of checkdowns, a lot of 10, 15-yard passes. Nothing really deep from him. I don't know if it's a timing issue. I don't know if it's that he doesn't have enough time for his receivers to get deep in order for him to throw the deep ball. And maybe that's why Mike McDaniels is trying to get rid of the ball very quickly. I don't know what the scheme is there. I don't love it. It's not fun football, but hey, I'll take W's all day. I think we're heating up. We're seeing Tyreek Hill back into the game. We're seeing Jalen Waddle come back into the game. We're starting to look sharp. Their defense is starting playing well. I don't think we could pull off that much of a run. We are injured on defense all over the place. But man, New England is not a great team. So I do think we're going to win this week. I think Drake May is okay if he does play. But I think Miami's going to fucking take it to him this week. It's what you're saying, though. I think next week is the big issue. Thursday, Thanksgiving football. How can we do
Short
against
week.
the Packers? Short week.
But I don't want to look forward to that. We still got to get past the Patriots. It's a divisional game. It's always tough. Drake May's been good, man. I think that guy's the truth. He's getting a lot of hype. He's doing a lot with nothing. This Patriots team this is a very bad Patriots football team.
Very bad Patriots team.
Their offensive line is horrible. It's very talent deficient. They just don't have a lot of offensive weapons, and he's doing a lot with nothing. But this is not a good team. Then again, These are still the
These are
Dolphins.
still the Dolphins, baby.
It's still
Dolphins gonna
Dolphins
do what
Patriots.
Dolphins do.
It's still Dolphins Patriots. Yeah, I think we should win this game too. We beat them with Tyler Huntley. So if we can't beat them, basically at this point, which every week is the biggest game of the season for us going forward, you've already lost 6 games. You basically can't lose anymore. Maybe depending on how things fall, you can maybe drop one more game. But at that point, you're really playing with fire. So we don't have room to play around here. We're gonna have to show up. The defense is gonna have to play well, limit the penalties. You know how these games. We're at Foxborough. You know how this goes.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're at home. We're at home.
We're home. We're home. We're playing here at 1.
Yeah, we're home. But you know how these divisional games go. Anything can happen, and especially with this Dolphins team.
But that's my issue with this game, right? If we're saying that we can only take one more L for the season, basically to be in contention for the wild card, this can't be the game that you drop, right? We still have the Jets. We still have the Bills again. We still have the 49ers coming up. We still have a tough little schedule coming up. So we can't lose.
Yeah, we have the Packers in Lambeau on Thanksgiving.
Exactly.
That's a very fun game, very tough game. Probably going to be a cold weather game too. You play the Jets twice. You still have your home and home against the Jets. They're garbage, but that team is imploding from inside out right now. It's
why, right?
Really bad.
Aaron Rodgers, bro.
I still
Aaron
think
Rodgers.
It never happened on the Packers. If that would have happened to the Packers.
Dude, I sent you the article. People saying that Aaron Rodgers is a scumbag, that he's a bad teammate. The only reason that players like playing with Aaron Rodgers is because he's talented, and that their money is based off how good they are. So yeah, they want a talented quarterback, but as a person, they fucking hate him.
I disagree, man.
I'm telling you, dude. I sent you the articles.
You never sent me the articles.
I did it? Oh, that's on me then. I got to send you the articles. I'll send you the articles.
What are you talking about?
I got to send you the articles. I have to inform you. Okay, but yeah, it's a tough game.
We have the tech. I mean, they're the tough games because it's the Jets. So it's just that's the way these NFL divisional games go.
Jets Dolphins are always
Jets
good
Dolphins,
games.
and it's still Aaron Rodgers. We've seen him throw 3 touchdown passes in a game.
Don't forget the Dolphins at 1-15. We beat the Patriots at 1 game. It was so exciting because we beat them once.
Yeah, so it's just how the NFL is. So those are 2 tough division. We still have 2 tough divisional games. We also have the Texans and we have San Fran. Those are tough games too. But on paper, yeah, Patriots 2 games against the Jets and a game against Cleveland. Like, yeah, you want to start.
This isn't the one.
Those should all be wins in theory.
Yeah.
So you're looking at 5 wins there.
Yeah, the Bills, dude. Josh Allen's just been kicking our ass, man. That's going to be a tough game. Let's go. I have a few games that we could do, just 4 other games. Steelers, Browns. Man, I like this. I like the Steelers here at 3.5. I think Pittsburgh's super hot, covering the spread in the last 8 games. I like the Pittsburgh Steelers here against a Browns team that I don't really love that much. San Francisco 49ers at Packers.
But I also like in that game, the under.
The under total?
I know it's already low at 37, but this is a Thursday night game. Steelers Browns. I could see this being an ugly game. Steelers just getting after Jameis Winston, and then the Steelers love playing. They kicked 5 field goals last week and won. Give me the under on this game for sure.
Was it 5 or was it? Dude, there was like someone had.
It was like 5 or 6. Goals. It was something crazy.
I think it was 6 field goals, dude. That was.
I just know it was 0 touchdowns and all their points were field goals. So
to me, bro, that is a wild stat. 6 touchdowns. We had one that last year. I think that was 5, and it was a lot. I think you're right. I think it was the Steelers. Holy moly, it was.
Yeah, I could also see the Steelers winning this game by more than 3.5. Yeah, but I'd rather just give me the under.
49ers at Green Bay. I like this game a lot. I think this is going to be a lot of fun to watch. I think the 49ers last week still getting McCaffrey in the game. I was so high on the 49ers earlier this season, and I'm just backing slowly away from them. I do like them here at 1.5. It's basically a money line bet. I think the Packers have a nice little fun offense. Give me the Packers at 1.5. I'm going to keep rolling with them until they disappoint me. Let the 49ers figure their stuff out. Hopefully they figure it out sooner than later because they're now 5-5 and been inconsistent all over the place. I don't know if it's a coaching issue.
But The 49ers are now getting Christian McCaffrey back. They've had him back. This will now be week 3 with him back.
Yeah, they had him last week and they barely used. Not really.
No, the first game back, he had 80% of the snaps. They used him plenty. Last week, he was a little more tempered down, but I could still see him. Now, this is already third week coming back. This San Fran team without McCaffrey, we know
It's not good.
it's not the same. Getting them back, look, if this was a team that had McCaffrey all year with a healthy McCaffrey, I don't think the line would be. I think they would be road favorites here, to be honest with you. So I actually don't hate the San Fran side on this at plus 115.
I think though.
I was saying money line here, by the way.
Yeah, so you're
I don't hate
going
this. I don't hate this San Fran money line. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. So you're on the opposite side. Yeah, I just feel like, bro, I feel like Jordan Love's going to come after this game. They took him out last year in the playoffs. They're hungry. They want this. I don't know.
Yeah, I still think. Yeah, I agreed. But
This was a toss-up. I think this is going to be a great game.
Right. That's why I like I like to pick a money line play here. I just think it's going to be too close. But if I'm going to take points, just give me the +2 that they're giving me for San Fran. But give me the money line on the San Fran side. This is almost a pick 'em. So I could see it's going to be a close game. I don't think there's a world where the Packers blow out the 49ers.
No.
Excuse me.
It's okay.
On the other side of this, give me
Yeah,
the 49ers.
I think
I don't have a huge lean.
I don't have a unit on this yet. So I'm thinking I'll probably wait till Sunday. I might wait till Sunday to make that one and lock it in a pick right now. I'm just keep watching it. Hopefully that line moves a little bit, and we'll see what it does. Eagles at Rams. I think this is a fun little playoff game here.
It's a fun game.
Yeah, you got the Eagles' great offense against a solid Rams offense as well. I like Eagles here at 2.5. I think they're riding a 6-game win streak, and Jalen Hurts has been playing absolutely great as their defense is getting a little bit better. I think the Rams are going to have a tough time slowing down that offense. Give me them at 2.5. Maybe the points here as well over.
I don't know about the points.
Points are at 49.
I like this. I like props in this game better, to be honest with you. This seems like a fun game to do, like a anytime TD parlay. Do like a Kyron Williams, Jalen Hurts, Saquon anytime TD parlay. Just have all three of them score a touchdown, or throw AJ Brown or something in there.
Saquon's playing. What an absolute unit that man is, dude.
That's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. The Giants, talk about, what are you doing? What are
Way
you
to
doing?
fumble the bag.
Way to fumble the bag on that one. And then you give it to the freaking Eagles, your freaking rival. Morons. Last game I want to talk about here, Ravens at Chargers. Why you should watch it? It's a primetime showdown, man. I think this game's ready to go. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry is going to take this offense and destroy against Justin Herbert and the Chargers. I don't really like Justin Herbert this year at all. Give me Ravens at -3.
The Chargers have been playing better, though.
I don't.
You can't tell me
like
the Chargers have been. I'm not a huge fan of them either, but
yes,
they
are playing better.
And Justin Herbert's been balling. I still like the. I'm with you. I like the Ravens side here, for sure.
You're a Justin Herbert lover.
No, I just had him in fantasy 1 year.
Would you take him over Tua?
I do. Yes. Duh. This is a stupid question.
Would you take T-Law over Tua?
No. T-Law's trash.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't think he's a good quarterback.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't know. Jacksonville has nobody,
team,
but
yeah, but that Jacksonville team has had plenty of talent for him to do something with.
I think he's been miscoached his entire professional career, and at this point he's not going to be coming back from it. But going back to Baltimore Ravens, man, I love Lamar Jackson this year. I love Derrick Henry on the Ravens. I just think this offense is so much fun to watch. What I need as a fan of Lamar Jackson, and I've been a fan of Lamar Jackson this whole time, I need Lamar Jackson to get receivers that could catch the ball. I was watching that game last week, and there were so many drop passes with Flowers and all these guys, all of them, that they just kept dropping the balls in their hand, man.
Yeah, it's a problem, and they've openly talked about trying to fix it. They were in trade talks with a bunch of teams. Oh, they ended up trading for Deontay Johnson. He just hasn't done much, but he was in all the trade talks for all those wide receivers when Cooper Kupp rumors and the Devontae Adams.
Yeah, I would hate to see them go.
um,
I would hate to see them go, but honestly, they should make a move for a Hill. They should make a move for Waddle. I don't know if they have the cap space for it. Obviously, they have a lot of big talent on their team, but man, it's just like they can't move the ball past 30 yards because no one's catching the ball. That being said, I do think they're going to win this game. I think they're going to win this game by double digits. They have them here at -3. I understand the Chargers are doing better, but man, oh man, I think the Ravens are going to be too much this season for them to handle.
Man, I don't know. I think you're really underrating the Chargers here.
It can
Chargers
be.
the Chargers are a good team.
I'm not saying they're a bad team. I just don't like them that much this year. They don't pass my eye test. They lost to Pittsburgh, lost to Kansas City, lost to Arizona. Who have
All
they
good
beat?
teams.
But then who have they really beat? Where like
I mean, they beat
Cincinnati?
the Broncos, who are showing to be a good team. Cincinnati. I mean, look, an NFL win's an NFL win. Now, I'm with you. I'm taking the Ravens side, especially after losing last week to Pittsburgh. I don't think you're going to beat this team 2 weeks in a row. I think this is a good Baltimore team. So, yeah, I like the Pittsburgh side here too. But I'm just commenting on your hate for the Chargers, man. They're a pretty good team,
it's
bro.
not
They're like
hate.
7
It's
and
not
wait,
hate.
I'm gonna look this up. What are they?
it's not
Yeah,
hate.
they're 7-3. That's a
They're
good
7-3,
team, dude.
but I'm saying like they lost to good teams. I feel like they're the Dolphins last year. Beat bad teams, lose to good teams.
Yeah, they've lost the Steelers and the Chiefs are top teams in the AFC. So
Yeah, man. I just don't think the Chargers have to take against the Ravens this week. But hey, this is what we're for. I do have before we finish, our boy Charlie left us with some info. Do you want to hear it? I actually think it's super excited. He's got
the college basketball picks.
He's got two college basketball picks for us. He got St. John's.
I heard him. I like him.
St. John's at +3, and we got George Washington. Money line. I'm super excited for this. I'll post them early in the morning. Make sure you guys see them. So also, college football, college basketball next week. Incredible week for betting, guys. We've got a feast week here for college basketball. College football is amazing. And NFL has a lot of games Thursday. It's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you guys follow us.
Are we going to get an episode in?
We're going to try to slip in an episode. We're going to try to slip in your DMs like a dirty whore on a Saturday night, baby. We're here for it. We're going to be posting things. Make sure you guys follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, on Spotify, on wherever your little heart desires. Hey, you know what we're on? We're even on Blue Sky Social. So if you're an anti-Twitter person and you're a Blue Sky person, we're in there as well. We'll post everywhere. Make sure you guys follow us on YouTube. Make sure you guys follow us on wherever you listen to your podcast. Like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you guys give Javi a big old hug and a kiss anytime you guys see him on the street. The guy is desperate for love and physical attention. And I'm here too, and I'm also desperate for love and physical attention. So thank you guys so much. We got each other,
big guy. We got each other.
We all hug each other. It's just so much hair gets involved. We get tangled up. It's like Velcro. It's awful. It's awful. The separation is what really bothers me.
My chest hair with your beard.
Oh, no. My beard. No. My beard stays very far from your chest. I'm scared it's going to get trapped. No. Make sure you guys check out the website. We're putting blog posts there. I'm going to start contributing some stuff now as well. We're going to get ready for some more hockey talk, some more NBA stuff. We've got our buddy Skippy's coming down with a full NBA breakdown. NBA is just getting started. Plans coming through. So we're going through all of that. Also, make sure you check out the website for our merch. We have fun little merch. Hav's not wearing any because he's a big old jerk. But I got this fancy sweatshirt on. We got a bunch of stuff coming up. Make sure you guys keep a lookout. And thank you guys so much. You guys are incredible. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. See ya.
Love you guys.
You've been listening to First Step.
We told you we don't take this too seriously, didn't we? I'd say we've proven that. Yes, we love sports, and we love sports betting. But we like the funner side, not the stuffy side. We hope you had a blast like we did. If so, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, find us on Instagram and TikTok at First Step Bets.
See you next time on First Step.